Hi, now we're in front of the Ketsa barn. Before this was moved, I believe it was in a bit of a marshy lowland pile, and the roof had fallen in on itself.
Yes.
So to my understanding, there was a lot of forensics done to understand what the roof structure looked like, including what the thatch looked like and how the thatch was bundled and fastened to the roof structure. So could you describe a little bit about that process of bundling the thatch and then fastening it to the roof structure, which the roof structure is very similar to the Greco house?
Yeah, very similar. The original straw roof, I don't know what the species was. At one time I had straw growing in Alberta, Saskatchewan and Manitoba, all for the purpose of thatching. It's a minimum height of straw of almost 5 feet is required. And I like to harvest the straw in the milk stage, which is full length. If you squeeze the actual seed, you might be able to squeeze a little milk out of it, a white liquid. Otherwise, if it makes seed, then all the seed has to be threshed out by hand. This straw had to be threshed by hand. All it takes is, one windstorm and your whole crop goes down and it's useless. If it makes seed, as I said, it's a big process to get the seed out. Mm-hmm. We did not need the seed on this site, but as a traditional farmer, then the seed is your livelihood. So you would want the seed, and it would all have to be threshed out by hand. The seed, of course, being you keep some for seed, you sell some for money and buy supplies. The seed is the most important part of the straw. As a roof thatcher, for me, the seed is not something that I'm after. I'm after good, long, straight straw. This is rye straw, and rye straw is that lovely blue-green straw that it has natural sort of oiliness, greasiness to it, and repels moisture. I trained with 4 different roof thatchers and sort of got 4 different techniques out of it. The original roof on this building had a combination of sisal rope and straw rope to make the bundles. This has about 1,700 individual bundles on this roof, each one tied in a very specific way. And then the bundles are tied to the purlins, the horizontal members between the rafters. Each bundle is tied to the roof structure and tied to the bundles on both sides of it by manipulating that straw rope to connect all those pieces together.
Can you describe a little bit about that process of making the bundles a uniform length?
I do it freehand. If there's anyone helping me, I build a jig, a little wooden trough, and inside that wooden trough I have specific points marked on the wooden trough. This is the length of the bundle I want. The bundle has to be chopped to length with a hatchet, as it would have been originally. The connecting sisal rope or straw rope has to go in a specific location. When we're on the roof, I can build straw rope as I go along. Grab loose straw, add it, and make straw rope. The straw rope can end up being one continuous rope throughout the entire building. The original design on this roof blew up from the weather. This is one of the windiest corners. years ago, one of the windiest corners on this site and the original design of the straw,
Yeah.
not a very strong wind, would lift, and the wind kept tearing the roof apart. So I tweaked the design of the bundle construction and attachment to so it would be tighter up against the strong winds that come from northwest. But basically, first round, the roofs are still lasting 27, 28 years before they need any serious surgery. Needs, good to have a little maintenance every year or two, because of course birds and other things like to make it their home.
Also, a thin sheet of copper is placed on the north elevation of
Yes.
the roof just to help deter any biogrowth.
Yeah.
You also introduced a new capping on the peak, which you can see is just sort of growing through the failing thatch at this point. So there's a bit of polypropylene just on the as a ridge cap.
Just as a ridge cap, and that's usually covered with a mesh of wheat straw woven into a mesh as a ridge cap. And
that just helps maintenance.
Yep.
Reduces a lot of load.
And the copper on the north side slowly bleeds off copper molecules. It's 99.9% pure copper, and those copper molecules bleed down the roof and stop moss from growing on the roof.
Mm-hmm. And the poles, can you describe the function of the poles that are at the top
Those
of
are
the
poles. The translation is roof riders, and so they sit over the top of the ridge, and they hold the loose straw on the top of the ridge. And it's just two crossed poles with spiked together in the middle, and that sit on top of there. Gravity basically holds them in place, but I've hidden some cords in there to keep them down, keep them tied down.